if you use any oxidizing agent, in this example, if you use hydrogen peroxide, so this is a half equation for hydrogen peroxide, and the other one is a half oxidation for complex of a chromium in alkaline medium. So when we write a combined equation, this is a final combined equation for both reactions. So complex of a chromium in alkaline medium reacted with hydrogen peroxide become chromate and give two hydroxide and water molecules. Then how to write the half equation in alkaline medium? You already studied half equation in acidic medium. Half equation in acidic medium, if you want to balance oxygen, we add water. If you want to balance hydrogen, we add proton. And then how we convert this was the equation in acidic medium. But how we convert this acidic medium to alkaline medium? So add OH both sides. How many OH will add both sides? To cancel out hydrogen. So I will add OH both sides. I should add 2 OH both sides. So on the left hand side and the right hand side, I added 2 OH. And H plus and OH minus will give water. So this will give 2 water. Already 2 water molecules are there. That's why it is 4 water molecules. So the same way we used to balance the equation, but in alkaline medium, the extra step is we add hydroxide ion. How many hydroxide ion we add? We add the same number of hydroxide ion that is equal to the protons so that it will balance. Is it clear? If you remember how we balance the redox equation in acidic medium. So example, if I say I was having CrO4 and it was changing into the CrO4 minus 2. Sorry, Cr2O7. With the charge minus 2 was changing into Cr plus 3. If I say balance in acidic medium, so first you add water to balance oxygen, then you add proton to balance hydrogen, and then you add electron to balance charge. Here the charge is minus 2, here charge is plus 3. The total charge is plus 14 and minus 2, so the total charge is plus 12. And here the total charge is, but chromium should be balanced. If I put 2, so the total charge is plus 6. So what we'll do, we'll add electrons. We'll add electron where the charge is greater, so we'll add electron on this side. So this equation is balanced in terms of electron, hydrogen, oxygen, chromium. But this is balanced in acidic medium. If I want to balance in alkaline medium, what I will do, I will add OH. How many OH I will add? The same number of protons, both sides. Because there was 14 protons, so I will add 14 OH ions. So as I add 14 OH ion or hydroxide ions, this will be 6 electron plus 14 water plus Cr2O7 minus 2 gives 2 chromium plus 7 water plus 14 OH. But this equation is not, because here 14 OH, here 7 water molecule and 14, so this water molecule move to other side, so this will be 6 electron, 14 minus 7, so it will be 7 water molecules plus Cr2O7 minus 1 give 2 chromiums plus 14 OH. So this is equation in alkaline medium. So the first equation was in acidic medium. This equation in alkaline medium. Is it clear? Copy this part only. So what happened in acidic medium, if I add an acid, amount of hydrogen ion or proton increase. So what happened? Equilibrium shift toward right. So that's why we'll have more dichromate. So in acidic medium, the solution will be orange in color. But in alkaline, if we add an alkali, it will remove the hydroxide ion. So it will produce more chromate ion. So in alkaline medium, the solution will be yellow. So chromate and dichromate can be converted. And this is not a redox reaction. Why it is not a redox reaction? Because there is no change in oxidation number. Is it clear?
Yeah.
So if copper is plus 2 till argon it is same, then in the last, from the last cell it will lose 2 electron. If copper is plus 1 in the last cell, it will lose 1 electron. Normally copper 1 compounds are colorless in the solution. And copper 1 ions, what happened in the 3D subshell is a full. Example 3D is 10. There is no space for electron transfer, so there is no energy transfer equal to the visible light. Basically what happened, here it should be 10. It's written both as the same, but it should be 10 because here it lost 2 electrons, there it lost 1 electron. So because the d orbital is complete, normally what happened, as the d orbital is complete, copper does not tend to, the copper 1 compounds are colorless in the solution. But if they form a precipitate, when forming a precipitate, they may be colored, but in the solution, they are colorless. Why they are colorless? Because the d orbital is full or d orbital is complete. So disproportionation of copper 1 iodide or disproportionation of copper 1 iodide. So when we react with sulfuric acid, what happened? Basically, copper 1 is reduced to copper atom and it is oxidized to copper 2. Why this happened? Because when we work out the electrode potential, when copper ion gain electrode, the electrode potential is 0.52. When copper 2 ion gain electron, the electrode potential is 0.15. So if we need an electrode potential of a cell in this example, because what happened in this reaction, a copper 1 is gaining electron and it changes into copper atom. And electrode potential for copper 2 to gain an electron and change to copper 1, this electrode potential was given 0.15. And this electrode potential is given 0.52 positive. So this is higher potential, this one is lower potential. The one which is lower potential or negative potential, it means opposite will happen. So this equation will happen as it is, but this equation opposite will happen. You got the point? Because this is high volts 0.52. But for this one, smaller volts is there. So what happened? If copper plus gain electron, it changes into copper. That's 0.52. And copper 1 loses electron, change to copper +2. The voltage will be 0.51, but negative. Why negative? Because we changed the equation. Electrode potential are always given for gaining electron, but in this case, if one is gaining, one substance gain electron, the other should lose electron. So when I write the combined equation, the electron will cancel with electron, and so it will be 2 copper ions become copper 2 and copper atom, and the electrode potential 0.52 minus 0.1, which is 0.37. So means this shows this can occur. Sorry. So the E cell or electrode potential of a cell is positive. So means that this propanation reaction for copper 1 iodide when it reacts with sulfuric acid is feasible or possible. Is it clear?
Yeah.
Copy this part. Formation of the hydroxide precipitate, how we can form a hydroxide precipitate. Example, if we have a solution and we add copper sulfate. So if we add copper sulfate, basically copper sulfate is solid, but when we add in the solution, it will dissolve and it will form copper ion and sulfate ion. How these copper ions will exist in the solution? The copper ions exist as a complex, means the 6 water molecules, each copper ion surrounded by 6 water molecule or dative bond, and this is a complex of the copper. But because there is a charge on the complex, whenever there is a charge on the complex, it means the complex will remain in the solution or it will be soluble. If we add a small amount or limited amount of sodium hydroxide, if you remember O levels, we used to test the positive ion first by adding a sodium hydroxide, a small amount, and then we add an access. Same thing, we add a small quantity or small amount of sodium hydroxide. When we add sodium hydroxide, so this hydroxide has a tendency to accept proton. So it will take proton from water molecule. So 2 of the water molecule will lose their proton. So if 2 water molecule will lose the proton, so originally if we were having 6 water molecules, as 2 of them loses the electron, so we are left with 4 water molecule, and as 2 lost electrons, so there will be 2 hydroxide. Now what is the charge now? Because copper is +2, water is a neutral ligand, hydroxide is -1, so 2 hydroxide will be -2. So that there is no charge on the ligand. If there is no charge on the ligand or a complex, what we'll observe, you can see it will be a precipitate, and in this copper, it will give us blue precipitate of copper 2 hydroxide. Is it clear?
Yeah.
Same way, if you add an aqueous ammonia, it will form first the precipitate, first this reaction will occur, but when you add an access, the precipitate will dissolve and it will form a deep blue solution. If you remember, when we add aqueous ammonia, first it will form precipitate, and then the precipitate will dissolve and it will form a royal or a deep blue solution. So how it forms a royal or a deep blue solution? First, when you add aqueous ammonia, ammonia is also a proton acceptor. So it will accept 2 proton. Again, you can see CuH2O4 and OH is there. 2. So the overall charge, there is no charge on the complex, so that's why it will be precipitate. And 2 ammonia except 2 proton, that's why it will come ammonia. But when you add an access, what you will observe, you'll observe the precipitate dissolve and it will form a colorless solution. So what happened? Why the precipitate dissolve? Like if you have this Cu H2O, 4 and OH2. When you add an excess, so when you add an excess of ammonia, the ammonia will displace this hydroxide. So when ammonia will displace this hydroxide, the final product will be CuH2O. Example 4 were there, and NH3. 2 will be there. So now copper is +2, water is a neutral ligand, ammonia is a neutral ligand. So the precipitate will dissolve, or it will be an aqueous solution. Whenever there is a charge on the complex, it will be aqueous. When there is no charge on the complex, it will form precipitate. In case of sodium hydroxide, when we add an excess, it's not able to, because it's not able to remove the water molecule or exchange the ligand, so it does not dissolve. But in case of aqueous ammonia, adding an excess, the precipitate dissolve because of ligand exchange. So copy formation of hydroxide, and then why the precipitate dissolve. I will explain this remaining part. First, better copy this. Formation of hydroxide.
Sir, finished.
Okay, next. When copper 2 hydroxide is heated, if we heat a copper 2 hydroxide, what will happen? It will decompose to form a black solid. Basically, it will decompose into copper oxide, and the water is also given off. So copper oxide is black, solid. And then with excess of ammonia, the ligand exchange reaction occurs with copper. So copper there means this is a solution of a copper, means the solution contain a copper complex. First you add an aqueous ammonia, a small amount, so it will form blue precipitate. Why it will form blue precipitate? Because it is replaced by there is a loss of proton. It's like an acid-base reaction. But in the next one, when you add an excess, there's a ligand exchange. So out of 6, 4 of the water molecule are replaced by ammonia. So as the 4 water molecules are replaced by ammonia, so copper becomes CuNH3 in a bracket 2 as a colorless solution with addition of excess of ammonia. It will oxidize on standing or shaking in air to form a blue solution. So initially what happened, like example, if we add a very small quantity, so copper 1 becomes CuNH3 a colorless solution. If originally we were having a copper 1, so when we add an ammonia, it will be originally colorless solution. But when we shake the solution, it will oxidize, or if we leave the solution for some time, it will oxidize by air, and it will also form a blue solution. Same thing, copper 1 iodide, when we add ammonia, so you can see here it is copper colorless solution because copper is +1. And copper 1 reaction started with a stable white solid copper 1 iodide or chloride, and aqueous copper 1 is disproportionate as above. Like example, what happened when we have copper 1 can be oxidized and it can be reduced depending on which reagent is added. So a ligand exchange reaction with chloride, how a ligand exchange reaction will occur with chloride. If we addition of high concentration of chloride ion from concentrated hydrochloric acid or saturated sodium chloride solution to aqueous iodide leads to a ligand exchange reaction. The chloride ions ligands are larger than uncharged water or ammonia. So therefore, ligand exchange can involve in change in coordination number, because like water molecules are neutral ligands, so more can attach. But chloride ions, because they are having a negative charge and greater size, so few chloride ion can be attached. So you can see the equation. So it's a complex of copper. When we add chloride, excess of chloride, so the chloride ion, only 4 chloride will take possession of 6 water molecule, because chloride ions are negative, and it will be aqueous. Why it will be aqueous? Because there is a charge on the complex. So addition of concentrated hydrochloric acid to aqueous ion of copper or cobalt, both cases leads to a change in coordination number from 6 to 4. In case of copper, a yellow-green solution is there and it will have a tetrahedral geometry because the coordination number is 4. The stable colorless soluble copper 1 complex with chloride can be formed by reaction of copper 1 oxide with hydrochloric acid. So if you have copper 1 hydroxide reacted with hydrochloric acid, it will form copper 1 chloride. Copper 1 chloride is solid. If this copper 1 chloride we add an acid, so it will form